Alright, this is my Shaman Rock deck, also a legacy deck because I'm using a whole bunch of older cards here. But basically the whole point of this deck is to use Fauna Shaman, which is basically a creature version of the card Survival of the Fittest. And in this deck, kind of actually better than Survival of the Fittest because it's a creature. You can tap green, discard a creature card, search your library for a creature card, put it in your hand. So that means you can search your library for any card, any creature, and then also have a creature in your graveyard. And then you combine that with the standby Recurring Nightmare. Sacrifice a creature, return it to your hand, return a creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. So basically you dump a creature in the graveyard, sacrifice something, and then that creature comes out. And so I have a bunch of like one creature, single creatures in this deck, so I can just search for it, dump it in the battlefield, and then put it back into play with Recurring Nightmare. That's the main combo of this deck. And whoops, put this back. And yeah, this is what else I have. So Fauna Shaman. Okay, Inquisition of Kozilek is a really good card. I don't have Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize is really expensive, but Inquisition of Kozilek is probably the second best thing to Thoughtseize. So I have that. Recurring Nightmare, Liliana of the Veil. Pretty good card. So it makes everyone discard a card and then sacrifice a creature. This is probably the best planeswalker for this deck, Liliana of the Veil. I don't have more because they're really expensive. I have the other Liliana instead, but this should probably also be Liliana of the Veil. Living Death. This thing has saved my life so many times because when the opponent has a lot of cards on the battlefield and you have a lot of cards in the graveyard, then basically this turns the tables basically. Every player sacrifices everything on the battlefield and then puts every creature from the graveyard into play. So once you dump a lot of creatures in the graveyard, they can all come back into play, and then Living Death is really good on this deck. Profane Command, really good for this deck as well. Very versatile. You can use it as a win condition, make someone lose X life, return something creature card from your graveyard, make some creatures unblockable, kill a creature. You can do anything with that. Good card. Overgrown Battlement, basically just a wall that can also give me mana. Wall of Blossoms, basically a pretty good wall. It also draws me a card. So that's there. Eternal Witness, really good card. Basically regrowths some of my other card and lets me reuse them. So reusing cards is obviously very good. You have my Elder. This is another card that happens. You see a lot of these creatures have a lot of comes into battlefield, dies abilities. So this one dies when I search my library, 2 basic cards, put in my hand. So this is just really good card advantage. Have that in the Vengevine. Vengevine is pretty aggressive card, 4 mana, 4/3 hasty, and if I cast a spell, if Vengevine is in my graveyard, which he might likely be because of Fauna Shaman, then he comes back into play, which is for free. So yeah, if you have multiple Vengevines in the graveyard, you cast 2 creature spells a turn, then they all come back out for free. Genesis, 3 mana, every turn you can return a creature from your graveyard to your hand. Right. Thragtusk. Enters the battlefield, gain 5 life, leaves the battlefield. Obviously, it's going to be really good with Recurring Nightmare. With Recurring Nightmare, just reuse these abilities. Acidic Slime, again, I use it for the come into play effect, the enter the battlefield effect, destroy anything, artifact, enchantment, or land, not a creature, but basically everything else. So that's there. Deranged Hermit, this is there to make squirrels. Every time it comes out, I get 4/2/2 squirrels, basically, when it comes out. Then I have my removal, which is Maelstrom Pulse, which is just, it kills anything that's not a land, so pretty good, Maelstrom Pulse. And then Putrefy, which destroys artifacts and creatures. So not as good as Maelstrom Pulse, but it's an instant. Kitcher Finks, good card for any deck really, but in this deck, basically you can reuse the effect, comes back into play, persists again, comes back into play, gain 2 life every time. It's a black and green deck. I have Overgrown Tombs, Verdant Catacombs, Vorath Stronghold, so I can reuse creatures. Woodland Cemetery as well. You have my Hollow to regenerate creatures. and mimic that to copy creatures. So say like creatures go to the graveyard often in this deck, and then I can just copy it and reuse it basically. So if my Solemn Simulacrum goes to the graveyard, I can keep on reusing it, and then I get the come into play and out of play effect, which is pretty good. So Solemn Simulacrum has that into the battlefield dies effect. Since it has both, it's really, really good. When it comes to play, get a land card. When it dies, a draw card. So card advantage. Cauldron of Souls gives any number of creatures persist, which is really good because these creatures have a lot of comes into play effects and leaves play effects. And yeah, that's it. That's the Shaman Rock deck. 75 cards, obviously it's a casual deck, but it's pretty nice to play with. It's very fun. And yeah, you'll see it in action. This is the Shaman Rock deck. And yeah, I like using this deck. It's basically a rock deck from back in the day. I don't have Pernicious Deed. I guess if this were to be, I could add Pernicious Deed as well. This is probably a good card to add here. Pernicious Deed. Destroy every artifact, creature, enchantment, convert a mana cost X or less. I'll actually add it in here and replace the Putrefies with this. Okay, Pernicious Deed is one of the best mass removal cards ever because it destroys everything. Tokens basically have mana cost 0, so if the opponent has like a whole bunch of tokens, you can just sack this for free and destroy all of it. And yeah, really great mass removal card. So yeah, I'll put Pernicious Deed in there. Why was that in here? Why wasn't that in here before? I think this was like supposed to be a modern deck before for some reason, and then I realized this is now a legacy deck, and therefore I can put Pernicious Deed in now because I'm using Recurring Nightmare anyway. So yeah. Anyways, that's it. Shaman Rock. Let's use my Shaman Rock deck. Sure, good hand. 2 lands, 3 lands. That's generally a good hand. Okay, let's put this on first. I'm gonna go Wall of Blossoms. Actually, Overgrown Battlement is good too, but actually this is probably the best. Inquisition of Kozilek. That's probably the best play here. Let's see what's in his hand. Override, get rid of it. There's a handful of lands, so guy's mana flooded. Affinity, I'm guessing. Yep, Affinity deck. That's fine. Put out Overgrown Battlement. Affinity, yep. Frogmite. Could have expected that. I'll put up another wall though. It's fine. Okay, Wall of Blossom. Come out. Draw a card. Ooh, Living Death. That's a good card. I save that. Maelstrom Pulse is pretty good. Vengevine is going to come out. Put Vengevine. Alright. Hasty. And it can come back to life later. If I cast more than one creature spell a turn, it can come back to life for free. Hasty 4/3 comes out. Can attack for it. Let's go attack. Another Frogmite. Okay, that's fine. They're just 2/2s. I'm waiting for the Arcbound Ravager, which is like a real... Or the other guy that gives them all +1/+1. Steel Overseer, I think. Anyways, Fauna Shaman, that's what I was looking for. But I need a creature in my hand. Put it out anyway. I guess I can put it out anyways. Attack with Ventron. It's okay if he dies. He'll get back to life later. Yep. Alright, that's fine. You can come back to life later. Fauna Shaman, I need a creature card to discard. But once I get this, once I get my Recurring Nightmare, and I have my Fauna Shaman out, then it gets pretty... the combo starts coming out. Living Death is such a good card. It's like really useful when you don't have a lot of creatures. He has a lot of creatures, but you have a lot of creatures in your graveyard. Then you can basically just turn the tides immediately using that card. I don't have any creatures in my hand to attack with my Fauna Shaman. Okay, 3/2 doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me at all. Well, it is flying, so I can't block it with my wall, but oh well. I'm still at 20 life. Putrefy, here's what I'm looking for. Destroy target creature or artifact. Well, it's dead. Yeah, you're gone. I have Maelstrom Pulse too, but I can save that one since that can destroy more stuff. The Putrefy was good. I'm glad I have Maelstrom Pulse and Putrefy in this deck. I guess I could also put Abrupt Decay in here too. Yeah, I'll probably replace the, well, I don't know, Abrupt Decay or Putrefy. This one can destroy any artifact or creature. Abrupt Decay can only destroy 3 mana cost or less, which is the issue. Yeah, you can get your artifact back, I don't care. Get your Frogmite or something. I'm not afraid of Frogmites. Yeah, I think Putrefy for this deck might be a little bit better than Abrupt Decay. Yeah, I'll keep that. Maelstrom Pulse is always good. That's just always good to have anyway. Destroy anything for 3 mana, except for land. It's basically Vindicate without the land. The Vindicate's really good. But I don't have Vindicate in this deck. Don't have Vindicate in this deck. Another Putrefy. Where are my creature cards, man? I want to use my creature cards. Oh my god. Not getting anything here. I'm just not going to do anything. I want to save my Putrefy in case he has something like bigger. And I can just block that Frogmite with my wall, so I don't care. Yeah, that's pretty poor creature right there. Just a 1/1. Not a very good creature. So this guy isn't playing like a really good affinity deck, not with Arcbound Ravagers and stuff. Or Cranial Platings. Cranial Platings are really good. And of course, Sea of Synods, Moxes, etc. Whatever. Oh, where are my creatures? Come on. Please give me creatures. I keep getting lands. Oh my god. Where's my creatures? I don't care. It's 1 damage. Take it. Another land, come on. Oh my god. How many more lands can I get? Another 1/1, whatever. Not a big deal. Here we go, here's a creature. Should I discard it? Yeah, I am. I'm gonna use the ability. Discard Solemn Simulacrum. Then search my library for any creature and put it in my hand. Vengevine, Thragtusk, that's a good creature. Battlement, Sphinx, Deranged Hermit. Genesis, Creature Sphinx. I'm gonna go for it. I think Thragtusk is good. Or Vengevine. Vengevine is also good. I'll take choose Thragtusk. I'll put him out. So I guess something immediately when it comes out. Let's see, when he enters the battlefield, gain 5 life. Yes, and when he leaves the battlefield, I get a 3/3. Generally pretty good. So yeah, there we go. Nuisance engine. Okay, that's gonna keep making 0/1s, I'm guessing. Yeah. Oh, I can putrefy that. I'm not afraid of it. Putrefy it. Whoops. It's dead. Take the 1 damage. Okay, I have a 5/3 to attack with now, at least. I'll Profane Command after this. No, Profane Command, probably. Profane Command loses X life, return target creature converted mana cost. Use that one. I'll choose Solemn Simulacrum. I'm gonna use all my mana here. Game should be over soon. There we go. It's down to, he'll be down to 1. Get up back my guy, use his ability. Get another land. Done. Yeah, okay, he's dead next turn. Oh, he's down to 1 actually. Oh, okay. He's down to 1. He's a 4/1. I guess he'll block it. Doesn't have trample, unfortunately. Which Thragtusk has trample? Okay, get a 3/3 and draw a card. Draw a card. Ooh, Planeswalker. Get a 3/3. Put up Liliana. Of course. And I'm not going to use it for now. Liliana of the Veil. Oh, here you can do it. Each player discards a card. Get rid of my lands. I'm going to win this game right now. This turn. Finish this game. Maelstrom, pulse this, get rid of them all. Destroy all those tokens, and then I'll attack with the 2/2 and 6/3. He's dead. GG. There we go. GG.